Hello everyone, we should be live. Welcome to the channel. It's Rad, and in today's video we're going to check into the looming week, which will happen to be 19th to 25th of December, 2022nd, 24th, 25th, Christmas holidays. So I guess we are all eager to that. But before that, I do have an announcement. After a talk with Pisces Moonbeam, because she does have a very different content from tarot, we decided that she should open her own page. So you can go and follow her there, where you will find an information about crystals, angel cards, astrology, whatever her heart desire she is to post there. And a link for it you will find on the original page, Radko Tarot. There are a few posts which are showing the link to her page, and I'm sure that you're going to have a lot of fun there. But that doesn't mean that we are splitting, okay? That is just a variety, because not everybody who is in tarot wants to see angel cards, and not that everybody is within angel cards or oracle cards wants to see tarot. So that's why we are kind of like splitting the content, but we are still together, just so you know. With that said as well, tonight's stream could be a little bit shorter. That is because I do have a terrible headache. I popped a couple of pills that are equivalent to Tylenol, but it barely takes the edge off, and my neck is a bit stiff. Luckily I don't have a symmetrical smile, because otherwise that would have mean stroke. Anyway, there is no stroke, but yeah, it is because my headache is kind of killing me. The stream could be a little bit shorter, meaning that I will run through the readings with more condensed messages than what I usually do. So let's go for the collective reading first. At the thumbnail you will see the cards, but I'm going to show them to you right now. So the cards for the collective reading, that is generally what the week is going to be about. The first card that we do have, just give me a second here to pull up the statistics, so I make sure that the stream is running smoothly and nothing is missed. So the first card for the week, that is to be the Four of Cups, followed by the second card here, which is the Knight of Pentacles. Moving on, next, what we do have, that is to be the Seven of Pentacles. And the final card for the week, we do have the Eight of Pentacles. So these are four cards, a lot of earth cards, and on top of that, for the Knights of Pentacles, we do have a catalyst of the Hermit card. So a lot of earth cards, and that means that this week will reflect to our stability and security, how we are going to make ourselves secure, certain, stable at work, at our love life, for example, or with money, if you will, whatever makes you feel comfortable and stable. And because the Four of Cups is at the first position of the spread, that pretty much means that bigger stability awaits us outside of the confines of our current options available, and therefore we will have to kind of like push our mind to browse outside of what we are considering at this very moment. However, there will be that person around us, or it could be as well organization, that would kind of think that they're more important, to say the least, of what you, me, or anyone else wants to do. In other words, for example, if that's your job, your boss will think that your job should be the most important thing for you. Screw your family, you know. And it's kind of, I despise that kind of people, you know, that think that what they are focused at should be the most important for anybody else. And, you know, other people's priorities, so to speak, are kind of should be thrown out of the window for a favor of their own priorities. But nonetheless, yeah, it's an individual or organization with a huge self value of a huge importance, ultimate acme of importance. And the best way we can pretty much overcome such a person or such an organization is just to ignore them. All right, just don't pay attention to what kind of plans they have and what they want to push you to do so, and so on and so forth. Hello, Liz. Welcome to the stream. So once you do ignore these kind of people or organization, guys, it will serve you, it will serve us very well if we do take our time for browse and research rather than jumping straight away into endeavors ahead of us. Isn't because the endeavors we will undertake on our own accord are not gonna be fruitful, to say the least, but it's going to be because with the Seven of Pentacles, it may happen that we are to spend or invest more than we could have, so to speak, right? It's like you want, for example, you do want to buy a vacuum cleaner, right? And why should you spend $2,000 on, I'm not gonna say the brand, while you can spend $500 for a vacuum cleaner that is just gonna simply do the job you need, okay? So for that reason, it will be best to browse all of your options available, no matter of what you want to invest, whether your investment is money or personal efforts or even time. But I love the finish of the week, okay? It is because at the end of the week, finally, all right, it's kind of like finally, some kind of a plan or a preparation of ours, it's about to come to fruition. Say you have planned to start, or rather like purchase a house or sign up for certain classes, and that plan is about to come to fruition and actually is about to become a tangible narrative in your life. One note for you guys who are single here, for according to these cards, it will serve you very, very well if you do find a way to show yourself into the world that you are single and that you are ready to receive love. How this could happen? Well, in many different ways. One of them, dating apps. Another one, going out with friends. Another one, reaching out for people that you barely know and you want to get to know them better so you can infiltrate their social circle and so on and so forth. So in many, many different ways. But sitting on your couch hoping that someone is gonna knock on your door and tell you, hey, I think that love guided me here, that is not happening by a large margin. And for that, it is we who needs to kind of like, it's not even initiating, it's more like give a note that we are ready to receive it. Hello, Owls, Owls, I believe that is how you do pronounce it. Owls, Taro, and Pagan, welcome. Jasmine, welcome to the stream as well. Right, so that was the collective reading, and now a few notes about the show before I move forward with the 12 star sign readings. Not hopefully, but thankfully, the glyphs are now restored, so I will be able to show you the glyphs. You will be able to keep track on where I am. There will be 12 readings, one for each star sign. I'm going to start from Aries and I'm going to end up with Pisces. And among those readings, there are going to be as well 3 free readings that 3 of you guys and girls as well can claim. One can be claimed after Cancer, another one can be claimed after Scorpio, and the final one can be claimed after Pisces. So once I am done with one of those 3 star signs, I am announcing a break, and within 5 minutes you can ask your questions into the comments down below, and after that time ends, I'm going to pick one question and I'm going to perform a professional reading on that question. If you do wish to have a personal reading with me, you can always go to my website. Link of it you're gonna find in the description down below. And if you do decide to support the stream and the channel through super chat, you will have a reading at the end. That's pretty much guaranteed. And should your super chat be $20 or above, the reading is going to be that very same format that I used for the collective, and as well that I'm going to use for each star sign. So with that said, starting first, Aries. There is the glyph, by the way. This is how you can keep a track on which star sign I am. Right, for Aries, first one, Two of Wands. Moving on next, what we do have, that is going to be the Three of Wands, followed by the High Priestess, and the last one, we do have the Nine of Cups. So that's that could be a bit hard for you guys. I am now studying the star signs and looking into this spread. That could be a difficult week for very strong Aries. What I mean is people that have a lot of planets into Aries, or some kind of a, you know, aspect that activates truly your Aries, is because the week is more about holding on tight to what you already have, or rather than kind of like making new accomplishments. The week is fantastic for you to expand on current accomplishments than to chasing new. That is what I am trying to say. And also a stabilizing. Now I don't know how you will kind of like accept that, but we do have Three of Wands here, second position, and literally that card in such a narrative of the cards has only one sentence, and the sentence is, you aren't as far as you think you are, and that's why you gotta put some brakes, okay, and try to kind of like, it's not even stabilizing, it's more like making more solid, for the lack of better word, I'm going to use the word breakthrough, but it's kind of like pave a better way. All right, that is how I'll try to say it. So bottom line here for you, Aries, is that you still have what to accomplish into your own ready current enterprises and endeavors, pathways, so to speak. And once you do so, from there you can expand even further to a point where by the end of the week it is highly likely that you are to find yourself quite happy with the results of your accomplishments. And not just only that, but also it will be that feeling of a sensual joy and kind of like Nine of Cups, it's interpreted as a wish fulfillment, but it's kind of like a short-term happiness unless you do not put an effort to sustain it. And that's why you gotta put a brakes, because otherwise what happens is that you're going to move on to the next thing and you ain't going to have time nor a sight to understand that something needs to be sustained that you already progressed into quite deep in. It could be your business or a certain project, or even your relationship, why not? But bottom line here is that this is a week where you shouldn't allow the happiness to escape you, because it is within you, it is within your current enterprises that you do have. If it happens that you are to fall in love throughout the week, know that that is, I can't say D1, but it gets pretty close to soulmate, as close as it can to a soulmate. Right, so that is Aries. Now moving on, next we do have Taurus. Hey Tammy, welcome to the stream. First one for Taurus and King of Swords, followed by the Aeon, that is Judgment. Moving on, next we do have Three of Swords. And the final one, it is the Three of Wands. So it's more of a recovery week for you, kind of like avoiding on painlessly moving through difficult times, crisis, if you want to call it that way. So what happens here is that throughout the week you will find it quite difficult to make any kind of a new moves, because you will feel like in a alley without an exit, you know, like a dead end situation. But this is only how it's gonna feel. However, it is because you will see a lack of progress or lack of options to make a progress right away. What's gonna happen is that this is gonna force you to start analyzing your situation more and more, and through this analysis, a very effective strategies are going to be developed. And following those strategies, the way out of the difficulties, the rock bottom that you may finding yourself right now is to be revealed by the look of it. One saving grace, which actually I did not expect, Judgment into the second position in that deck, the Aeon, pretty much speaks that whatever difficulties you're facing right now, even if you got yourself fired from work, right, or even if, for example, your spouse left you or anything like that, it's not a mandatory, or rather like a major thing in your life. That is the sign of the Aeon being into the second position, meaning that much better thing is gonna happen to you in the future. So if you got yourself fired from work, meaning you are gonna find a much better job, much more accustomed, much more developed and gainful job into the future. Same thing about your spouse. So my point is here, do not mourn about losses, for those losses has a reason why they are around, okay? And that is so, you know, those losses, or rather like the space that those losses are created, can be filled with a much better enterprises. But by the end of the week, Taurus, you are to find yourself back on track, on a solid patterns, solid foundations, and even you are going to start thinking of what should be my next challenge that I can kind of like target at and conquer, overcome, overwhelm. That was Taurus. Now moving on, next we do have Gemini. Hello, Kate. Right, first one for Gemini, we do have the Moon card, followed by the Nine of Pentacles. Moving on next, that is going to be the Aeon. And the final one for Gemini, that is to be the Strength. So we do have a major week for you, signs for that, the Moon first, the Aeon third card. I don't know what is gonna happen, Gemini, to you, but definitely is going to be one of the most significant things in your life, right? Is gonna set you off a path. I want to explain you more, right? Hold on a second. That is something I'm explaining in the tarot classes. All I Tarot, Liz and Jasmine, thank you so much for your super chats. I Tarot with $4 US. Thank you. Liz with $5.11 US. Thank you, Liz. And Jasmine with $19.99 US. Thank you, Jasmine. You girls are going to have a reading at the end of the stream. Just give me a second here to put you into the list. And as you have no inquiry with your super chat, the reading is going to be about your week, what kind of a week you're going to have personally. So back to the moon card. Hold on a second. It's gonna be the very last one, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Third from last. All right, so we do have the moon card. Let me pull a camera preview. There is the moon card, guys. And what do we have here? We do have a crab, right? A crab that it is about to embark on a path. So why do we have a crab? It is because crabs, they exist on the surface and beneath water. So it exists in the two forms. That's why we do have a crab, to make the transition. Transition to where? A path which leads to where? Behind or beyond the summit. So there is a destination that this path leads to, that the crab cannot avoid, but the destination is unknown. Point being, it is that throughout the week, that path will open for you. Whether through love or whether through career, it could be through even difficulties, right? Some kind of a problems out there. But whatever happens, it's kind of super necessary, so you get on track. And actually, very often the moon card leads you to, if not your purpose, a part of the purpose you're supposed to fulfill in this life. And by the way, it will be undeniable that you will have to follow it here, because judgment is into the third position. That is like a wake-up call. That is like something which is always in the back of your head, nagging you to pretty much undertake it one way or another. And it's gonna be the only thing that kind of makes sense. But that doesn't mean that you won't gonna feel a bit emotionally uncertain and insecure, because not everything is gonna be clear at that particular point. However, by the end of the week, it seems that you're gonna pull yourself together, and actually you are going to take it on as a challenge, all right? Like you are climbing up these hills that the path is leading to, not knowing what is behind it, but believing that once you reach the summit, once you reach the top, surveying the vista, you will know that it was actually freaking worth it. So a major week for you, Gemini. Just don't cower out from it, right? Just don't cower out from it. Whatever it is, it's gonna be a challenging thing, right? But even if you do run away from it right now, it will haunt you, all right? And it will catch up with you eventually, being even more undeniable, being even more how can I put it into words, unadaptable, for a lack of better words. Because if that's the first time you stumbled upon it, you have a lot of room to play around with it. But the more you deny, the less room it is for you to play around with it. Hello, Anna. Welcome to the stream. Right, so that was Gemini. Now moving on, next we do have Cancer. And Shanna as well. Welcome, Shanna. For Cancer, the Sun card, it is what we have at the start, followed by Justice. Sorry, so that's Justice. Moving on, next, what we do have, that is going to be the Nine of Swords. And the final card for you, Cancer, that is to be the start. The star. It is the start, but it is the star card, all right? The best sentence I can use about your week, it is a natural growth and progression that we do have for you here. And it will be through acceptance. Okay, it will be through acceptance. I don't know how to truly describe it, but it basically, anything that you were trying to avoid and you were afraid of that it is about to happen, it's not like you will intentionally try to provoke it, but you will be afraid of it no more, because it will happen that you are convinced that that is something that you can go through, and it's actually a natural path of what you want to have. It's a bit spiritual explanation. Let me try to give you an example here. Now imagine throughout the week you end up being in a relationship, right? You like a girl or you like a boy, you like them very much and you want to be together, and bang, you are now. But as now you are in a stage of being with that person, you can't help but to think, how long is this gonna be, right? What if they decide to leave me? And that's fear, right? Which accompanies any relationship. Anyone considers that, but you will accept it as a natural thing, something that can happen no matter what, and therefore you are to overcome the fear, allowing you naturally to grow into whatever you are to create for yourself throughout the week. Now, on a more specific cases, this week you can expect to bury down hatchets with people that you do have an argument with. For example, if you do have an argument with your boss, this argument will be no longer relevant or present or whatever. Also within the family, within that relationship as well. And by the end, crises are to be reverted through that natural progression. You can expect that this is going to be the last week of your era of a turmoil, and at the end of the week that era of a turmoil will be there no longer, and you will be able clearly to see your future moving forward depending on the enterprises itself. So if that enterprise is about your job and your career, Cancer, you will see your future clearly, how far you can go with your career enterprises. For love, at the end of the week you will see that the unfolding love actually exists and you get to enjoy it. Right, so that was Cancer, and now the first break is gonna take place. So should any of you guys want a free reading, now is the time to claim one. Just input a question into the comments down below. I'm giving you 5 minutes to do so, and after those 5 minutes, if there are any questions, I'm going to pick one and I'm going to perform a professional reading on that question. If there are no questions, I'm just going to move on to the next 4 star signs, which are Leo, Virgo, Libra, and as well Scorpio. Hello, Painter Lee. Welcome to the stream. Well, Anna, how can be stagnant and yet uneventful? You mean boring week? You have a boring week? Oh, Michelle. That's a really nice question of yours. I if my mom was about to move with me, I would have drawing my cards. Yeah, boring. Well, look at it from the bright side. At least nothing bad is happening. Well, Jasmine, work is always stressful. I mean, that's why it's work. Because, we are hired to solve problems. Oh, you're welcome, Michelle. Hey, Shakti, welcome to the stream. And even if things are, this is whenever I was working full time, this is something I kind of like observed there, guys. Even if things were going smoothly, I just at any point someone is gonna pretty much find out something to drama about. Oh my god, it's just was something I never understood. Why there should be a panic all the time. Yeah. In a business meeting, I was told that, plainly in my face, I'm not paying you to tell me what the problem is. I'm paying you to solve it. And the guy was right. It's rude, but I was not offended because it's the truth. He doesn't care what the problem is. He wants it solved, gone. I was a mechanical engineer before I start doing tarot. It is. Yeah. It is logical. It is the truth. Yeah, well, I do understand, Jasmine. I do understand. Well, yeah, that's the benefit of working at home. But believe it or not, I have a friend that just can't stand it. I don't know why. I mean, he just can't stand it. He wants to go into the office and work there. Although I can get it, it is because when I was working at full time from home, not with the tarot, but it's because the company I was working for, it was in another city, and sometimes I was working from home. Well, half of the time I was working from home, and it's kind of so difficult to concentrate when you are at home. You have other things to do. Not like you have to do them, but you simply want to do them. All right. Will things work out if my mom moves with me? Michelle Rutzen or Roy. Well, this is how I'm going to pronounce your surname, Rutzen. I don't know if it is right, but some people thrive in chaos. Yeah, that is a parable, isn't it? I mean, only the weak seek for order and structure. The strongest, well, they do prefer to rule the chaos. No, it's gonna work quite nicely. Those are the cards, Michelle. Those are the cards, and your mama is going to help you quite a lot with some stuff, at least according to these cards for what we have. But things should work out in between you two. In fact, I don't know how you see your mom, because we do have that page here next to the Knight of Cups. You are about to change your opinion about your mom, and in a very, very good and positive way, for what those cards are showing. All right. But if your mom moves in with you, just so you know, it's gonna be for a very, very long time. It's not gonna be like for a couple of weeks or a couple of months until she finds another place. It will be at least 6 months, at least, yeah, 6 months to 1 year. That is the very least of it. But other than that, you should get along very, very well together. Anna, thank you so much for your 20 US dollars. Thank you, Anna. At the end of the stream, you're gonna have your reading for the week. That is kind of true for Virgo. Although structure, probably it's not the right word to be used. Taurus is more accustomed to structure. Virgo needs a pattern to follow. It's a difference in between structure and a pattern. Because structure, it restricts you, and you know, you are within that structure, and that is where actually Taurus thrives. While Virgo, it's more about pattern, you know, following a thing in a certain consistency that can become a perfect, you know, and so on and so forth. But it has much more, you know, room to grow. Chandra, thank you so much for your 1999 US dollars. Thank you, Chandra. But hey, yesterday I was studying Scorpio, and now I understood why, you know, people consider Scorpio such a strong star sign. Because what we said about the chaos, in Scorpio strives to understand the unknown, therefore they're always one foot in the chaos. Because what you do not understand, it's chaotic, isn't it? Let me put you into the list, Chandra. Yeah, Sagittarius isn't about the chaos. For what I learned today, it's about the adventure. True. And it's more about not the unknown. I don't know how to put it into words. The foreignties, like the foreign stuff, things that are known but not by them. For example, science. Okay. For example, foreign cultures and these kind of things. That, by the way, that's why when my first natal chart was done, the astrologer said, "Oh, you are attracted to foreign women," and that was kind of true. And I said, "Oh my God!" But that is because my moon is in Sagittarius. So it was easy to see, you know. But back then I thought, wow, flabbergasting, you know. Yeah, the learning especially, they really want to learn, but not in a bad way, you know. It's not like learning how to manipulate or anything like that, but for example, they see you that you can do something, say you can keep your composure into some kind of a situation. They want to learn that, they want to understand it. Well, who isn't? Tammy. For Scorpio is different. Okay, Scorpio doesn't want to learn, Scorpio wants to understand. That is completely different. Okay, that's why, for example, I cannot learn things which I do not understand. I cannot learn math, for example. I do not understand it. I mean, I can learn the techniques how to solve a certain type of equations, okay, the methods which are used, but if it is something that you need to think, that you need to actually apply a true math, like theory of math, I can't, because I do not understand it. Well, Tammy, then your emotions are very, very deep, having the moon being there. All right, moving on. Next we do have Leo. Not all the math though. I mean, I understand very well. Very well a not algebra, geometry, but algebra, not really. Right. So, for Leo, first one we do have the Sun, followed by the Queen of Wands. Moving on next, that's going to be, oh my God, the Tower. And the final one, we do have the Ace of Wands. So it's a fiery week ahead of us, ahead of you guys. I don't have anything into Leo, but it will be a bit too dynamic for your taste, even for you, right? Even for you, having that Queen of Wands being there, into the second position, the additional card to it, it is the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so we do have those two. One second. Those two. So what we have with those two is an example that you will, I can't say you will be compelled, but you would wish to follow. That could be example of, you know, a colleague or someone that is in a bigger position of you, or a friend, whatever, or just a person that is around you. But it isn't an example. It's not like you're not ready to follow it. It's just not for you. Once Pisces Moonbeam told me, because she was, I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but she was, when she was working, she was basically something like casting, and she told me that once, that when she was doing that, for example, an actor comes and it's a good actor, but it's just not for the role, you know. So, and that is what happens here. It's like, it's an example, but it is just not for you to follow. It's like, it's not in your nature, and that's why kind of like you may try to do a double time to keep up with that example, while it's completely unneeded, because you are going to be better if you go on your own, if you try to do things, you know, the best way you can do them, but uniquely for yourself. Then if you go down that road, like, you know, you do things which are uniquely to yourself, actually by the end of the week you are gonna have on your at your plate a quite of a gainingful enterprise to enjoy and to explore as well, because as a gainingful enterprise, it will be a breakthrough, or an aim, a goal, an opportunity, whatever you want to call it, which will contain uncharted territories for you. For example, if that is a person you can date, it will be someone very interesting that you would wish to explore, you would wish to get to know, you would wish to see that part of a human life that you haven't experienced up until this point. So it will be more or less a different individual than yourself, which is going to be a good thing. And once you do explore it, you will see that actually you do have a knack for such a life. Now that is just for an example, but also it could be a project that you can have a great deal to learn from, and you are going to see that you are actually very good into what the project demands, or a business as well, or a friendship. Nonetheless, it will be a yeah, it's just, it doesn't fit the role, you know. And for you, Leo, that could be, I don't know what that could be, but it's just, it is outside of your structure. But by the end of the week, if you go on with yourself, what you're good at, like I said, gaining full opportunity is going to befall you. So that was Leo. Now on moving next, we do have Virgo. Ace of Pentacles. It is the first one, followed by the Hermit. Moving on next, that's going to be the Six of Swords. And the final one we do have, that is going to be the World. Those four cards. Now, what I'm gonna say at the start, I just don't want to accept it like this is going to be a super underwhelming week, because as we do have the Hermit into the second position of the spread, that pretty much means that this week is going to be more about the peripheral activities rather than the main course of event, okay, rather than the entree of of your enterprises. However, you will do a spectacular advance, or for a lack of better word, progress on your peripheral enterprises undertakings. Why not even a tasks, and which whatever they are in your personal life, they are going to contribute, or straight away they are going to become a harmonious relationships, or within the business field, they will be a lucrative business maneuvers, or they will contribute for a future lucrative business maneuvers. Doing it so, though, you will surprise yourself, that's definitely, and also you will be able to convince people into your cause. So if you are trying to get investors, well, that's a great week for you to do so. For at the end of the week, it seems that you are gonna wrap everything peripheral out, and from there the main entree can be proceed forward with. But even if there is something that it is very difficult, or you're not feeling like it, again, it's a peripheral thing, so even if you do skip one or two tasks, it's not going to be the end of the world here. Just just make sure that you are not going to how can I put it into words, you are not going to regret later. So how you should target your tasks then? What is the guidance of the cards? Well, any task that you may think that is going to resolve within time, or rather like on its own with time, is the task that you need to address throughout the week, because it's not going to resolve by itself, unfortunately. Right, moving on, next we do have Libra. For Libra, the first one, we do have the World, followed by the second card of the Magician. Moving on next, that's going to be the Empress. Not the Empress, oh my god, the Princess of Pentacles, which is the Page of Pentacles. And the final one, that will be the Empress. I'm not a psychic, alright? I'm not a psychic by any means. For the Page of Pentacles, the additional card, it is the True of Pentacles. So we do have a helper, a person who will support you through your development, whether through your career or whether through your personal intimate life, especially if you are going through a hard time in terms of personal life. Now, if you're going through a hard time into your personal life, say a breakup, that happened, whatever bullshit you have been fed from the person who left you hanging, actually they could not accept you for who you are. It is within the cards. It is just they had their own image. You did not fit into that image. So that is why they left you, basically. And this individual that shows up here throughout the week will help you kind of like overcome it and set back on your, I don't know how to put it into words, but set back on your feet and actually make progress toward a new heights in terms of relationships. But that is in terms of relationships. Long story short here for you, Libra, is that this week, no matter you know, the misfortunes, whether big or small, that you had to endure in the past few weeks, in the past few months, that will be over. Okay, that will be over, and through fruitful cooperations and discussions as well, mentally you are going to consolidate your future, for a lack of better words, because the result of all that is going to be that by the end of the week you are going to make some very important choices, very important decisions, how to proceed forward with career, business, relationships as well. They will be quite maturely made and also very well founded, decisions which are going to ensure your long-term future into it. Okay, so if you are single now, you definitely, these cards are showing that you won't be single for the rest of your life. All right, eventually you are about to find someone. If you have that question, if I ever gonna find love, yes, hell yes, you are going to find love here. And that's about your week. It's a week of a personal confirmation that you are much better than what someone or something is making you to look like you are. Right, so moving on, next we do have Scorpio. Oh, and as relationships are concerned, it could happen that, you know, a friendship could transform into a relationship, if you do want to and if you do allow it to as well. Right, moving on next, Scorpio. Hello, Mattia. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for your 1999. Thank you, Mattia. So, Five of Wands, Mattia, just in time, by the way. Scorpio, we are Five of Wands. It is what we have, followed by the Page of Wands. Moving on next, that's going to be the Queen of Swords, and the final one we have the Four of Swords. For the Page of Wands, it's the Three of Swords. So that is a person telling us how much we do suck and how we cannot do it. And the Queen of Swords with the Page of Cups, it is a person who actually is about to show us how it's done. Okay. And the appearance of that individual showing us how actually it's done will make us believe that we can do it too. So that's the savior, or I don't know how to put it into words. But yeah, it's just take it that way, that the appearance of the Queen of Swords, which could be a man or it could be a woman, it could be as well an organization, for example, it will be a lucky draw. It will be like a lucky coincidence that it is to happen around us. And basically through her or his example, we will see that we actually can push through. All right, we can push our things through one way or another. The example, it could be also a verbal help, like telling us how to do it and we actually doing it. whether, for example, telling us how we can make amends with our ex, you know, or for example, how we can enthrall the clients and make them purchase from us, or for example, you know, how we can prove our worth at our job, while the other person, which is the Page of Wands, that is with the Three of Swords, that is someone telling us that we do suck and that we are never gonna be able to pretty much be truly, you know, successful one way or another. So how we are going to recognize one or the other? Queen of Swords, these people, they do not concern too much with others, right? They're like, if you have read the novel, the Wheel of Time, right? And you know, in this novel, there are this faction called Aes Sedai. It's just, these are a channelers, like wizards, that they do not concern themselves with the puny people. Okay, they do not concern themselves with that there is a poverty, or there is a kind of like you know, war or anything like that. They concern themselves with much greater matters, so to speak. And that is how the Queen of Swords pretty much is. It concerns her or himself with the bigger picture, but I don't know why this time around they are to make exception for us, and is going to either show us an example or straight away tell us how it needs to be done. Most likely tell us though, because we do have the Four of Swords at the end, which means that we are going to have a faithful companion at that point, which we are going to make a very solid, or rather like a profound discussions about the future and about the way forward, career-wise or relationship-wise. The card could also be considered about the therapeutic or a professional help, like a therapist, like a lawyer, for example, and so on and so forth. Page of Wands, on the other hand, these are very cocky people. They think they know everything. They think that they are good enough on their own, for example, and they make an impression that they can do well without you as well, or without anyone, in fact. However, deep down within themselves, they are very, very fragile. That's a person who basically feels insulted on every second word you say. Okay, so you have that one. Just pay no mind to them. Just do whatever you feel is best for you, and you are never gonna go wrong with that. Karen, thank you so much for the $3 for myself, and also $3 super chat for Pisces Moonbeam. Thank you, Karen. Hold on a second. All right, the second free reading can be claimed now by one of you guys. All that you gotta do is just input a question into the comments down below. I'm giving you about 5 minutes, and after that, I'm gonna pick one of your questions, and I'm going to perform a professional reading on it. The queue, you mean the queue for the super chat? If that's what you mean, we do have 8 people in the queue. Yeah, it's 8 people in the queue. No, you aren't. 3.5 minutes until the contest closes. You're welcome, Lisa. I always wondered what is a fortnight? It's a week, right? Or it's the fourth night from now. What is a? Because usually when it's used, it's like the next week. Is that what it is used for? Fortnight? Thank you, Sam, for the 2.99 Canadian. Every second week. But from when? From now? So 2 weeks from now? It's 2 weeks. Okay. I know it's a week, but I don't know where the counting starts from. And I know it's about the holiday as well from the week, the weekend. So basically, a fortnight from now is, hold on a second. For what I know, fortnight from now it's 24th, 25th of December. Thank you for the 2.99 Australian dollars shown. You will have your reading at the end. That is for what I know, though. I may not be correct. Twenty-ninth. Yeah, that could be also true. I don't know. Nonetheless, Sam, I would have need more information to answer your question as accurate as I can. Because if you losing those money, hold on a second. You losing those money depends on someone's decision. For example, you gave the money to someone and now that person needs to decide to give it back to you. Then I can never answer accurately because, as you guys may know, tarot is not supposed to make choices for anyone. Okay, so I can only tell you the likelihood of it. But there is a question here that I can answer as accurate as I can, with as accurate as tarot can answer. And that is Shakti's question, wondering if the business yields positive monetary factors, as she made some investments into it. So let's check it out. Thank you, Pisces Moonbeam, for 3 Canadian, which covers Karen's super chat. Those are the cards, Shakti. Bear in mind that that is not for a lifetime. Okay? Bear in mind that that's not for a lifetime. But for the near future, and let me tell you how that near future is, how long that near future is. Oh, near future is very near. By the end of January, at least by the end of January, you will see no monetary things. I mean, the biggest thing that can happen is you breaking even. Okay, that is by the end of January. After that, what is going to happen, I cannot tell you, but what those cards are showing here is that you definitely could have made your investments better. Yeah, I don't have the problem now. I don't know why. Thank you, Karen. Right, so couple of minutes and then moving to the next 4 star signs, and after that it's going to be the super chat readings. So should anyone decide to support the stream and the channel through super chat, you guys are going to have a reading at the end that is guaranteed. And should the super chat be $20 or above, the reading is going to be the 4 card spread I'm using for the star signs themselves. Shakti, hopefully I'm wrong. You know, because at the end of the day, I'm not psychic. I just interpret tarot cards. So hopefully I'm wrong. Next we have Sagittarius. All right, first one for Sagittarius, Knight of Swords, followed by the Magician, afterwards this is the Three of Swords, final one is going to be the Lovers. So that's going to be a bad week, not for Sagittarius though. Someone that it is around Sagittarius is going to be really bad week for them. It's because you will have a lot to tell throughout the week, okay? And it's kind of like it's uncomfortable information that you will have on your disclosure that you can't divulge, and it's kind of like it will feel throughout the week that there is no other way or other thing to be done but to say what you gotta say. And the deliverance, oh my god, you are to reign the truth over the ignorant around you. I don't know how to put it into words, but simply you are going to be the truth dealer into the next week. People will deny you in a sense of that they will try to refute what you are saying. People will try to wiggle their way out of it, all right? Even to convince you in the opposite, but you will know exactly what you are talking about with that cunning little mind you have, all right? So yeah, I mean, it's a week where you are to expose. You are to expose schemes. You are to expose people. You are to expose, hopefully not, but also possible, relative, close people next to you. But once the exposure is kind of like it's off and the dust settles down, your life will become more harmonious than before. And that exposure, by the way, is going to unintentionally, that's going to be like the perk of the trade, so to speak. I am also Sagittarius stellium as well, so I wonder what is that I have to say. But that exposure, it's gonna after the dust settles from it, it's just, you will feel such a relief. We do have the Lover's card at the end, and that card breeds harmony. And what I was about to say, now I remember, it is that unintentionally, through that exposure, some of difficulties that you do have, it doesn't have to be even concerns. It's like things which you feel heavy on yourself, are going to no longer be present. They will simply not gonna have effect on you any longer. So it's a week of liberty. Okay, it's a week of liberty. It's just, you have to untie that sharp tongue you have, and it's all going to be fine about that. Should you be, how can I put it into words, Sagittarius? I mean, mind tricks are not going to work on you this week. It's like people trying to kind of like corner you, put you with your back against the wall, verbally, that is. Ain't gonna work on you. I mean, because you are to be prepared for any kind of losses whatsoever, right? It's not even prepared. You will have already accepted any kind of losses that you may have, because the freedom is going to be the acme of your intentions. Is basically, is going to be the only thing that would matter for you. All right, next one we do have Capricorn. All right, for Capricorn, first one, that's going to be the Knight of Pentacles, followed by the second card, which is the Hierophant. Moving on next, that is to be the Six of Cups. And the final card for you, Capricorn, we do have the Fool. So, I don't know how really to explain that. It's like it's about the thing you find it hard to believe. Like, it's not like you're not trying to develop that thing. Say it's hard for you to believe that you're gonna end up with someone, or that you are gonna get hired in a certain job. It's just about a thing that you find it hard to believe, and it's happening. By the end of the week, if not tangibly, by the end of the week you are see it forming. Okay, maybe you are gonna have a promise about it, or maybe you are going to see that, interest is directed towards you, whether from a potential employer or from a potential person. But it's just what these cards here are showing, is that the not the structures, but kind of like It's not even the plans, but the consistency you are building up with an endeavor or with an enterprise pretty much is going to open up the world for you, right? It's going to open up a straight away with the full card being at the end, a new beginning. Okay, so that is a confirmation, the very least, into the upcoming week. Capricorn, you will get the confirmation that what you're doing, it's pretty much worth it. Not just only worth it, it's possible, because you will have no doubt that it is worth it. The doubt is going to be, can I do it? Can it happen? Yes, it can. And you will, by the way, gonna have a pretty much fun, or quite of a fun while doing it. One specific case with those cards, it's that you may make up with an ex of yours as well. But should that happen, Capricorn, it will be unlike your previous experience with that person. It's gonna feel like you both learned your lessons, and now you can actually do it right this time around. Right, so that was Capricorn. Next one, Aquarius. The Empress. It's for the Aquarius first card, followed by the Tower. That's not a good start at all. With the Page of Swords. Then it is the Four of Pentacles. Wow, I'm so looking forward for that week. I am rising Aquarius. I have no idea how from the rock bottom, literally the shit storm, we are about to swim in an ocean of honey. It's just unfathomable for me. For the Page of Swords, that's going to be the Eight of Pentacles. So it's a huge crisis in front of us, okay? And that crisis, it's not going to be a crisis of a material proportions, right? This is going to be more like internal crisis within us. Take it that way. Very often in my practice, when I have such a card, usually the person doesn't feel joy from their work anymore, and that's a crisis, okay? Or suddenly starts falling in love with someone than his wife or her husband, okay? It's like something hits you, a flash of insight, right? Or a bolt of feelings, and it is just, you can't help it but act on it. Although we are to have an individual around us who will try to kind of like breathe sense into our empty heads, because with that flash of insight and, you know, both of feelings, we are definitely not gonna follow our brain, our thoughts, the logic, and we have to. So we're gonna have that individual around us who will try to break it up for us, right? Who will try to how can I put it into words? Try to show us the reality of what we are trying to do. And hopefully, I'm saying hopefully, there is a big hope that to happen is that we are actually gonna see that what we are trying to go for, it's quite immature. I was about to use another much more stronger word, but let's constrain to that. Immature. And it's literally gonna throw away, it's gonna thrown out of the window the life we were building up until this point. So it's a quite of an important week, because we can not just shoot ourselves in the foot, guys, but we can definitely hang ourselves, you know, by the neck. That is figuratively spoken, of course. So it's very important to listen to our friends, very important to listen to our colleagues, to anyone that is trying to give us an advice. And should we listen, by the end of the week, it seems that we will find ourselves with the certainty of the future again. Okay, because we have it now, and throughout the week something is to happen out there that's pretty much is gonna fuck it up, and we will have that really good bestie, you know, or a concerned parent that will try to and will hopefully succeed as well to breed sense into our minds. Right, so that was Aquarius, and finally we do have Pisces. First one for Pisces, that will be the Ace of Wands, followed by the Star card. Moving on next, that's going to be the Five of Cups. And the last one, we have the Strength. Okay, so those 4 cards. So for Pisces, the week will be quite exciting. Now, the only thing that I don't like here is that you are gonna try to make it bigger than it actually is. That's literally the Star card being into the 2nd position. It kind of shows that your hopes for the enterprise that it is to appear for you this week, they're going to be a bit unjustified hopes. It's just your ideals and your standards are going to be unaccomplishable. Imagine it that way. You start dating with someone, and at some point you're gonna like that person so much that you are gonna try to hold them to such a big standards that, you know, everybody would have failed at those standards. And for that reason, it will be very, very important that you kind of check yourself with the reality. All right, stay grounded for as much as you can. And yeah, it will be a bit disappointing that, you know, you gotta make a compromise here and there. You know, your perfect vision cannot be fulfilled. But those disappointments are gonna be just temporary disappointments. And even if you kind of like feel that you're losing, you know, a perfect vision, it will be just a partial loss as well. And once you do wake up for the reality, Pisces, here, after that, this enterprise, which again the Ace of Wands breeds a gainful one, all right, gainful enterprise, you will chase with quite of an enthusiasm. And by the way, for the personal life, intimate life, these cards breed a lot of sex. Okay, a lot of sex. So yeah, if you start dating with someone, you're about to have a lot of fun with that person. But for business and career, it's a huge project ensuing. Okay, it's just don't be gullible about it, right? Don't be gullible about it and about the sweet talks that you are to be fed right at the start of it. Try to see it objectively for what it is. Right, so that was for the star signs. Now the last 3 reading can be claimed by one of you. All that you gotta do is just input a question into the comments down below. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to do so, and after those 5 minutes I'm going to pick one of your questions and perform a professional reading on it. And then the super chat readings are going to take place. Anyone who supported and is about to support the stream through super chat, you guys are going to get a reading at the end of it. That's pretty much guaranteed. Should your super chat be $20 or above, the reading is going to be that very same 4 card spread I did for every star sign, for each star sign throughout the live stream. Good for you, Anna. Have a great one, Michelle. Hope you get along with your mama. All right, no questions. Super chat now then. I am first though. It is because it's my stream and it is because I'm going to do Lenormand for myself. So let's check on the most important event that awaits me the upcoming week. Oh, question last minute. Okay, I'm gonna do it right after I'm done with the Lenormand cards for myself. Those are my cards. Someone is gonna cause me troubles. A man is gonna cause me troubles. Hey, Sean, welcome to the stream, mate. Welcome to the stream. All right, so nothing new under the sun for me. Now, Original Shemaya has a question. I have an invitation for a New York for an artistic endeavor, but don't know if I can trust the person. So the question is that person lying to you trustworthy? Are they having a surreptitious intentions? So let's check it out. Well, like I said, Karen, nothing new on this under the sun. Well, trouble is not exactly the word, more like delays. It is actually the what the card showed. Shamaya, is that one time off? Like one time event? Those are your cards, by the way. Is it a one-time event? Yeah, of course. Retro, pre-retro, they are always to be blamed for anything bad that it is happening. Truth is, bad things happen because of our choices. Mostly because of our choices. Or at least this is what I do believe in. So Shamaya, is that one thing, one time off thing, or is it concurrent? All right, anyway, what the cards are showing here is that you are a filler, right? So I don't know if the person is trustworthy, but if they told you that, you know, they didn't had anybody else to call there, and that's why they're calling you, they are about to speak the truth. But well, for what the cards are showing is that you are a filler, and I don't know what they promised you, but it's likely that this is going to be a one-time thing off. So if they haven't told you that, a bit disingenuous, at least according to the cards. And you're not gonna like it that much as well, but you can attract. Okay, so best advice that I can give you here, if you do decide to go on there, do it for yourself. And anytime you are approached by someone, try to advertise yourself rather than the endeavor that you are a part of. So that is your reading. Now back to the super chats. How's Tarot, first one? Your week. Ozai. Two of Swords. So with the Two of Swords, it will be a bit of a static week, kind of uneventful, for the lack of a better word. But the process of the week is going to be that some kind of a option available will become obvious to you, especially if you are wondering what to do about one thing or another. With the Two of Swords, that is when, you know, with you waiting it out, is just the right choice. It is the only one that it is left. No different than if you do have two people to date with, okay, and you don't know which one to put your bet on. You don't put your bet on anyone, and one of them eventually is gonna be disinterest by waiting out for you, and basically is gonna move on to the next woman, and the one that stays shows dedication. It is the obvious choice for you. So that kind of a situation, or such type of a situation, it's going to be what the week is going to be marked. Other than that, a very peaceful week it is what you are going to have. Pisces Moonbeam, to your question, not just only the answer again is no, but also the card gives a guidance here that it is about time for you to press rather hard. It's the Queen of Wands, by the way. For some general guidance you wish, we do have the Seven of Wands for you, Sam. So with that card, it's you gotta tread carefully, because it's basically, if you're about to do something, you gotta know exactly what you are doing here. You don't have any margin for error for what this card is showing, and any move you plan to do or you are anticipating of doing has its time and place, okay? And if you get it wrong, it's gonna end up in an utter disaster. So best thing for you is just you gotta have that readiness to jump in the action whenever the moment ensues. And also it's with the Seven of Wands, you gotta have the determination to guard what you have as well. Okay, that is your guidance. By the way, if you hear some kind of an information about yourself that it is false, it's important that you do challenge it right away. Karen, we do have the Ace of Wands for you. Now, this is a quite active and procreative energy of the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands, this is a week of innovation, so to speak, because the Ace of Wands gives a can I put it into words? For a lack of better words, I'm gonna say new ways to do the same thing, the old thing done in a different ways. Ace of Wands, it's not a new beginning, it is a beginning in the old thing. Like, for example, a new venue to kind of like push your product that you already have, all right? Or a new diet that it is about to do the same thing, gaining weight or losing weight, but it is about the same thing, all right? So it's something new that will be offered for you to try, and it is advisable not to avoid it. That is throughout the week. It will be quite interesting for you to explore it. Liz, your week, we do have Judgment. Okay. With that card, important week. Now, Judgment, it's a card showing that it's all going to become very clear, crystal clear to you. It's just pieces of the puzzle for your situations, all of them. It's just that they are gonna snap together, and you're basically gonna know what you gotta do about one thing or another. Judgment also, I don't know if you are trying to have one, but Judgment could be also interpreted as a pregnancy. Okay, so if you're trying to get pregnant, that could be your lucky week as well. Take it that way. Judgment manifests, Liz, where you kind of, it's not like you are stuck, but it's like none of the paths, none of the options available that you have in front of you kind of corresponds with you, all right? It kind of like each one of them requires sacrifice, each one of them requires a compromise. And Judgment appears as a new option available that actually it is the perfect one you take through that kind of like crystal clearance of the situation. All right, so next one is going to be Jasmine. Good night, Karen. All right, so Jasmine, those are your cards. We do have the Eight of Cups first one, followed by the Five of Wands second. Moving on next, that's going to be the Two of Pentacles, and the final one, we do have the Fool. So Jasmine, this is a week where you need to show consistency. There will be quite a few instances throughout the week, which, for the lack of better words, you are to be tempted to take shortcut of one thing or another, okay? Which isn't advisable at all for what these cards are showing. But also, it will feel like skating on a thin ice, because some of your enterprises as well will require readjustments. It is like new concept. So you will need to differentiate in between the new concept and the shortcuts. Now, the new concept, it will be the change of the plan rather than the replacement of the plan. Change, like changing one step with another, but the plan stays the same. While the shortcut, it's like changing the plan altogether, right? So that will be the difference in between these two. And also, I'm just saying, Liz, because I don't know your situation and I'm trying to cover as much as I can with that one card. Also, Jasmine, you may also feel kind of stuck throughout the week, trying to do better where better cannot be accomplished. So it's going to be as well a situation where we need to have an astute discernment to know when to move on to the next thing. Okay. For example, negotiating a contract, you need to know when you should kind of like resign about it instead of, you know, trying to make as perfect as possible, because it won't be. So don't strive for perfection. That is what I am trying to say here. But that heavy energy is gonna loosen up by the end of the week, and things are gonna start becoming much more carefree than before, right? Than throughout the week, and probably entering into the next week, not this one 19th to 25th, but from 26th to 1st, I believe, 2023. You will have quite of a great time. I don't know what the cards are going to be for that week. Probably we're going to check that on the next week. But for now, I could almost say that, and you have mentioned yourself here into the comments that you had quite of a stressful week. That stressfulness is about to end within the upcoming week, 19 to 25th of December. Next one, we do have Anna. Good night, Liz. Anna, this is these are your cards, and unless you intentionally don't do it, the boredom is about to translate into the upcoming week as well. But you can't intentionally kill the boredom, and it's not a boredom, right? According to these cards, it's a peace. Now, do you need intentionally to do it? Well, because we do have the Hermit into the second position, it kind of speaks that whatever you do, nothing substantial that will affect your future in a huge way is going to come out of it. So is it really worth it? I don't know. It depends entirely on you, but it will require some quite of a bold moves for you to kind of like move the layers around you, so you can make, you know, a dynamic around you. Other than that, Anna, I don't know what else to say aside from that your life is going to be as peaceful as it is. And again, we're not talking about boredom here, we're talking about peace. With that High Priestess being on the very, very first spot, it kind of speaks that, you know, your family is going to be as good as it is right now. Your job is going to be as good as it is. Your friendships as well. And that Five of Wands at the end manifests only if you strive for the Ten of Swords, which are the kind of like, I would say, the bold moves. Actually, they're irreversible actions that you can take in order to move the layers around you, which I don't think it's necessary, but again, it's entirely up to you. Other than that, if I were you, I would enjoy my peace. I would enjoy as well my freedom. And that's about it. I don't know what else to tell you with that. If you happen to start dating someone, I mean, you should know that you can easily, both, that is, you can fall in love with each other very, very easily. So if you don't want to fall in love with someone, be careful whom you are dating the upcoming week, if you are about to date someone, that is. Next one, that will be Chandra. All right, first one for you, Chandra, Nine of Pentacles, followed by the Knight of Swords. Moving on next, we do have the Six of Pentacles. You're welcome, Anna. And the final one for you, Chandra, it is the Three of Cups. A very personal experience, it is what we have for you into the upcoming week. That will have to do with an individual. It could be an employee of yours, or a client of yours, or simply a friend of yours. Bottom line is that they make stupid decisions. Long story short, it's just whenever they make whenever they decide something, you just kind of like blows your mind. It's just, you can't fathom how someone can be so, I mean, it takes a real effort to come up with such a ridiculous development. I don't know how to even put it into words. Okay, it's like almost the day never considered anything that can come out of that thing. Okay, it's such a, it's like a child. It's even worse than that, because it has no self-preservation in it as well. It's like you talk with people that, or with person that has no, they are not from this world, you know. They don't know how banks are working, and yet they are making choices about their finances, right? Or they don't know what water is, and yet they are trying to build a garden, right? It's like that kind of, such kind of a person, or a society of people, in fact, we do have here. So the danger is that you may allow them to make choices for you, and I don't need to tell you how this is gonna go down that road. So it will be best throughout the week. If you want to do something, you better do it yourself. I mean, definitely you better do it yourself. We do have that Six of Pentacles, all right? And Six of Pentacles, it's a card showing that no one can do it better than you. And that is in the third position. No one can do it better than you. Other than that, in a tangible way, throughout the week, I don't know if you're working, but if you are working, that will be a very strong week for you, very gainingful week for you. Nine of Pentacles. Maybe that's a week where you're gonna land a huge client or a huge project that truly is gonna start taking off at the end of the week. Now, at the end of the week, couple of things are about to happen. One of them it is that you are to see the initial results of an enterprise of yours, and as well at the end of the week you are to kind of like see that many people share your view, your opinion, and as well your emotions overall, generally toward one thing and another. But again, try to do things your way this time around. If you keep up with the parable, if you want to do something right, you better do it yourself. And finally, we do have Mattia. Seven of Swords, followed by the Knight of Swords. Moving on next, we do have the Seven of Wands, Mattia. And the last one, that's going to be the Five of Pentacles. For the Knight of Swords, Six of Wands. So it's a person who seeks a fast gains, okay? You gotta be very careful, Mattia, because I think that these cards are showing that someone is gonna try to take advantage of you. Your kindness, for example, or lack of knowledge. Maybe the second one, not your kindness. These people, they do it through the lack of knowledge, okay, for one thing or another. And the way that they are gonna gain from you is using assets from you. So the guidance, Mattia, it is that if you are to pour assets into something and that something is not about you, you best don't pour any assets whatsoever into anything. But yeah, it's just a week where someone is gonna try to take advantage of you, of your assets, that is. And that's depending on how you are going to address that. The Five of Pentacles at the end could play out in a couple of ways. One, obviously, many problems that are gonna come out of that person taking advantage from you, right, or of you. By the way, they are going to try to make it surreptitiously first, but you are about to find about it, right? You are to find about it before it's too late, and it will be very important that you do act immediately. For example, if the way that they're trying to take advantage of you is nefarious, for example, a person could be forging your signature about deals or about money transfers, anything, right? That is just for example. And you find about it, you immediately report that to the financial institution, to the police departments, anything, right? You find out that this person is making decisions instead of you, like authorizing things in your company without your knowledge. You fire the guy or the woman right away, all right? It will require immediate action from your behalf, because otherwise many problems, it will be an overwhelming amount of problems. If you address the issue though with that individual, the Five of Pentacles manifests as a lesson learned. that you know, it's a matter of a lifestyle, in a sense of a style of people that you do allow to be a part of your life or a part of your business, and that's this style you have, it needs to be readjusted. So it's a lesson learned. But if you are around and you're hearing that right now, I would like to keep in touch with you for the next week, just to know, you know, how things are going with that thing. Because I myself, I am very curious what will be the outcome of all that. But again, if there is nothing into it for you, you better don't pour assets into it. I mean, I know that you do have a kind heart, but that's not the week you show it, because it will be taken advantage of huge time. Alright guys, so that's gonna do it for tonight. Thank you so much for watching, for being around, and as well thank you so much for your generosity. We're gonna see each other next time, and until then, bye.